You found TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. In just a few minutes, we'll be right with you with another award-winning, action-packed edition of your Tony Basilio Show. You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Love your spirit when you call. Tony Basilio welcoming you to another edition. Fired up, focused, and prepared. I couldn't be more pumped. Absolutely incredible. Beautiful day live today. Calhoun's on the river. And today's message and the takeaway message on today's show is sending out an SOS, Bino. Sending out an SOS. We're going to go back to the police. I don't know what record that was. I don't even know what year that was. But today, Bino, we're sending out an SOS because today it is Save Our Season Day. We have jammed this. We have jammed this all into one day today, Bino. Good thing or bad thing for our pitching that and Kevin in Muletown has come here. Hey Kev, thank you so much for the wonderful gifts. Thank you for the great spirit you have when you call the show. I always love hearing from you. You're like a voice of reason in a sea of
otherwise.
Well, just these guys that are on YouTube that just bring me down every day. Beanstar the Great, in all your born days, have you ever seen anything like the inning last night? And I know baseball is a sport where you're going to see things. Like the other night, the Oakland A's had a line drive hit back at a pitcher. It got caught in the guy's – I've never seen this, but it went through one of his buttons.
I've never seen that. I was watching that live.
And they scored it a single, right?
108 into his shirt. I didn't know the rule because I'd never seen it before.
108 miles an hour.
Between two buttons into his shirt and spun around his torso.
Between two buttons into the man's shirt. And it was unbelievable, Andy.
And there's some obscure rule that if the ball gets hung in your uniform, it is not a catch.
Yes, it's not a catch.
And the umpires knew it.
Yes.
Somehow. No, I've never seen anything like that inning last night, short of the first day of kid pitch.
Poor Chris Burke. I told him today in a text, because Burke's on his way. I thought Burke was here all weekend. He said, no, that was a one and done for me. I'm on my way down to Florida. I said, Burke, I was thinking they were going to pan you up in the stands last night, put the camera on you, and do the Iron Eyes Cody thing, where all that work of the last several years, Bino, was washing up the shore, and there's Berkey crying like Iron Eyes Cody, like the Indian on the Do Not Litter. Can you say Indian or you have to say Native American?
I'm not sure.
On the Do Not Litter commercial, because that's...
I think on our show we can probably say Indian.
In your humble opinion, Bino, these guys are literally hanging by a thread right now.
Yeah.
They need a big day in that stadium
they
today.
Sure do. After listening to and reading people that know a whole lot more than I do about it, I've come to the conclusion that 14 is probably the number, which means Tennessee has to win 2 of their remaining 4 series in order to, I think, to get the 6 wins that they need. And I think it just makes today you certainly had to win 2 of the 3 series between Alabama, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. You're unlikely to win the series against Texas. But you've got to win 2 of those series. Makes today just a critical juncture in the season. I think they need both wins today.
Pruitt's Neck Gator said, I went to the game last night. After the 3rd consecutive hit batsman, I left.
4 in 1 inning. I've never
Nobody's
seen
going to
that.
blame you for that.
No.
I looked like Little League Baseball last night.
Yeah.
Like bad, like when you're teaching kids how to pitch.
Yeah. It's the first day of kid pitch.
Yeah. Really?
When everybody walks or gets hit. Or,
no, really. That's
that's what it looked like.
And poor Elander. Elander makes – he goes out.
That Corgi out there with that orange bandana and good looking.
Yeah. Shout out to the Corgi. But he makes makes the switch, goes to Appenzeller, and you knew that first batter was going to smash the ball. Even though Appenzeller's really been pretty good.
Yeah, he kind of lost his way here of late.
He's lost his way.
Yeah, but as freshmen will do. But, it's – and, last night's generally it's been that we haven't swung the bats the way that we're capable of.
Yep.
And, as teams do when they struggle, seems like when the hitting comes, the pitching leaves.
Yep.
So.
And then you've got that really wonderful talent at shortstop for Alabama, this LeBron guy. He can't field the ball now. He got 14 errors.
Yeah.
That's an ignorant sport.
Yeah.
The thing about baseball is, and if you played, you appreciate this. It, next to golf, is the most ignorant game on planet Earth. Because you don't always get the result you deserve.
Yeah.
And once something starts getting in your head, it's Johnny Ball game.
Yeah.
That LeBron guy's afraid to throw the ball to first base now.
Just got to have no memory in that game, Tony.
No memory.
No memory. And that's the most difficult thing to do out there.
Calhoun's Carp says, barring the unforeseen, Tennessee is staring at a 2-year stretch in their building. See, people want to blame Josh Helander like this is his deal. First of all, he didn't build this team. Tony did. Now, I don't think the pitching coach is helping them. I don't think he's very good. He's probably gonna get it, I would think. I think it's probably they're gonna make a change. They have to do something in the offseason. They miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they're putting too much money in baseball, and you got to show your fans. It's just how the sport works.
Yeah.
At every level.
Yeah, it is.
Whether it's fair or not. But we're live today at Calhoun's on the River. We've got 2 games going today. Come on down, eat some lunch, talk some sports. Steve Russell, between now and then, will hang out and be with you. And Beanstar the Great, how much of the draft did you consume yesterday evening?
Almost none, Tony. I did. I was watching the Vols and watching the Yankees, and I followed the draft on my phone a little bit, especially the first 8 or 9 picks, and then after that I didn't pay any attention to it at all. Colts didn't have a pick yesterday, so.
And that takes it off your plate, right?
Takes it off mine, yes.
I was thinking yesterday on the air, kind of shooting my mouth off, that Tennessee might be able to backdoor getting a veteran quarterback.
I heard that.
With
show, the 5-on-5, the 5.
Yeah. Because the 5-for-5 thing is probably going to pass pretty soon, and the NCAA commissioner wants it. Coaches want it. Some administrators want it. Some don't. They can never agree on anything. It's like watching folks in Washington fight over things. But it could have been maybe an opportunity to bail us out. And then, Bino, I got to looking at the list of guys that are draftable.
Yeah, I saw it on your blog.
And it's depressing.
Yeah, saw it on your blog.
They've what's the term? All these guys have pretty much exhausted their draft status unless you want to get Drew Pine from Bowling Green, who turns 26 this fall, who started at Notre Dame and ended up at Bowling Green last year and wasn't very good there. I mean, this is slim pickings city. Yeah. Whereas in basketball in the portal, you got all kinds of guys. Like, if they go to that 5-for-5 thing, I was telling somebody last night, Tennessee immediately would peel $3 million off and would pay it to Felix Akpara to come back. He'd be their first priority off last year's team. Not even Gillespie.
Based on what they've added?
Yes, but Akpara.
Yes, no question. Based on what they've added, their bigger need right now. Now, I'm assuming Juke is going to
He's coming. Yeah, he's coming.
That their biggest need now is a big man.
Yeah. The thing about Tennessee, though, to finish the thought, which seems just unbelievable, they lose a game today, they're not going to beat Texas in this building. I know baseball's a crazy sport. They're going to have 2 series wins over 2 seasons in a building that's got 7,000 people in it nightly.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, it makes no sense. We just had kind of an immortal team for so long.
Yep.
That mortality hurts. It does. We've got we've got a regular baseball team right now.
I think the record's like 13-23 now.
Yeah.
And that stretch.
Yeah.
Some crazy number. And Matt and I got an argument a couple days ago about it, and I just think that's horrendous. He says, well, you're reverting. No, you're not reverting. 1 minute you were way in the sky, and now you're way down on the ground. Something in between we could kind of all live with.
Yeah, I think it was more of a shock with last year's team than with this one after watching.
Totally agree.
I think not winning home series last year was more of a fluke. I think this year it's a product of who we are.
We have a lot to talk about today. We'll get there as we go.
What a beautiful Flyers jersey.
Thank you. One of our wonderful listeners in the Mid-State gave this to us, and shout out to him. But, this is a practice jersey. It even has a hook in the back where you hook your stuff to it. Draft last night, Bino, the Titans made Carnell Tate, who was supposed to go somewhere between 9 and 11, a top 5 pick in last night's draft. Nobody saw that coming. Now, I will say this. Once the number 1 pick happened, nobody knew what was going to happen in that draft.
Yeah.
The draft Knicks. It became a crazy night. It was a total flex by the Big Ten last night, which we all have to kind of deal with. And here's the other thing about the Big Ten. The Big Ten, Ohio State, and we saw that super team they had 2 years ago, and that was a super team. They went, and we're going to get a timeout and get Hugan in here, but they went on Alabama's roster while Saban was still there.
Yeah.
And bought that Downs guy.
Yes.
Who I believe is the best football player in that first round last night.
Probably correct.
I hate to say this as an Eagle fan, that was a great move by the Cowboys to trade up and get him. All I need is mental help. Yeah, thank you. I don't think she can provide mental help to me. So
short term, she can with some of the stuff she has in there. But
that is the Cowboys made a great pick last night. I don't mind what the Titans are doing because Carnell Tate's a good dude. The guy they got from Auburn is a really good kid as well, apparently. And they're going for character guys and guys they can kind of build their franchise around.
I tell you what scares me right now as a Southeastern Conference fan, and I didn't think it would get here. But cover your ears, W. Lynn. It's beginning to look like the Civil War to me, where they were so much better funded.
W. Lynn. You better not say that around him. I'm liable to be dangling by my ankles here. Yeah, they're going to throw me off the side of the. They're going to throw me off the side of the bridge here. All right, we'll come back on the other side. Mike Hugan joins the fray. We'll get his thoughts on the draft last night. What seems to be is this a blip on the radar? Is the Big Ten with their money now going to flex in these sports? It feels that way.
That's the question.
And we haven't won a
championship. There's a fear. I have a fear there that I haven't had. About the Big Ten
all of a sudden,
versus the SEC.
Because one of Sankey's calling cards has always been our draft picks. Well, guess what? Now they're buying them off our team and making them their draft picks. That Downs thing's a great example of that. Bino, when that happened, we were all like, and not only did they buy him, they bought that running back off Ole Miss's team. It's like, hey, guys, we're going to use y'all as our farm system.
Well, that – I guess I could look at Ohio State and say, not taking anything from Alabama.
Yeah.
I could see them taking something from Ole Miss, but not Alabama.
And Nick Saban said, that's the smartest freshman I've ever had on my football team, one of my all-time favorite players. It's probably what drove him to quitting. He's probably like, we can't keep him. I'm out of here. Speaking of which, we're out of here. We come back with more. We're live at Calhoun's on the River. Come on out and see us. Eat some lunch, talk some sports. Steve Russell, more after this. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Gotta love this time of the year. Hoops here, home runs over there, and you've got to get your Tennessee on. And there's only one place, the best place to shop for your officially licensed Tennessee volunteer gear, Alumni Hall. Hands down, the best store for Vol fans. They've got the latest and greatest apparel for the entire family. Hats, man cave items, decor, and more. Get your Vols grill cover, a plate for your burgers, and of course, that chef's apron for all that outdoor grilling this spring. And accrue those rewards and watch your balance grow online or on the app. We'll see you at Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com and G to the B to the O, Alumni Hall.
Nothing reminds you of how much you rely on your air conditioner like the first really hot day in East Tennessee. Schedule Pipe Wrench Home Services' $79 seasonal tune-up now before the heat sets in. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 seasonal tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Hey, it's Ariel Armas, catcher with your Knoxville Smokies. We're just getting the season going and nothing better than Friday night at the ballpark. It's like a feel-good Friday. Great food, great drinks, and great baseball. See you tonight.
Anything out of it. Tony B back with you, 865-5402. The great Mike Hugan, and presented by our friends Gouffon Moving and Storage. Since the late 1800s, they've been keeping it real. Several generations. Shout out to Taylor Gouffon. They're doing an incredible job. He's 5 generations in. They'll be 6, 7, 8 generations in. Why? Because they take care of people. Why? Because that's what they do. That's who they are. That's who Tom is. That's who the family is. That's who those folks are. And I love Tom. I'm partial to Tom too because he's a fellow guitar picker, which means he's a good dude. Because if you pick guitar, generally you're a pretty good dude. So I'm fired up, focused, and prepared to bring the great Mike Hugan in here. Hugie, how we doing?
Doing well.
Hey, Hugie, question for you, my friend. Quick question. 3 straight national championships. Bino and I were just talking. I'm going to let Bino articulate this to you before we get your answer, but that had slipped my mind. 3 straight national championships. Now they've taken our number of number 1 draft choices from us. Share with Mike what you were just saying.
Mike probably already knows, but last night the Big Ten had 10 first-round selections to the SEC 7, and the SEC's now closer to the ACC and the Big 12, which each had 6 first-round selections. So I guess our question for you, Mike, is with 3 straight national championships for the Big Ten, and now they've got the most first-round draft picks, have they taken over the mantle of the top football conference in America from the SEC, or is this just a blip?
No, I think that's legit to say. I think the one thing the SEC has had for 2.5 decades was we produce the best football players in the country. Sometimes our teams don't win, but we have the best players. Well, now the Big Ten can say we're the league that's winning titles and producing the best players. Now, that's a little bit skewed because 4 of the 10 were Ohio State, and all 4 of those guys went in the top 11. But yeah, I think there a lot of the whining that's coming out of the SEC now from coaches about, oh my God, we got to play 9 conference games. This league is so hard. Someone needs to step up and say, you guys need to shut up and win games, because the Big Ten's had 9 conference games for a while, and I think the perception for a while has been, but the bottom and the middle and bottom of the Big Ten aren't very good. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think there's no question but that the Big Ten is the best league in football, and I think last night's draft performance showed that. I think they have better coaches top to bottom. They also have schools that are willing to spend money. I don't think they make it as big a deal as the SEC does, but the Big Ten is spending money for players.
We still have the fans. We still have the best atmosphere. We still have their people traveling to our places to enjoy our deal. But Bino asked earlier, is this going to mirror the war between the states where they have more gold?
A bigger war chest.
And ultimately they're going to be able to, because I look at that Downs kid, right? And I think about how you grab a kid off Alabama's roster that's a great player, who the Cowboys trade up to get last night, right?
Yeah, Caleb Downs went 11th. Grew up in Atlanta area. Went to Alabama, was freshman All-American, led the team in tackles. Nick Saban resigned or retires, and Caleb Downs says, I'm leaving. I think the assumption was he was going to go to Georgia because it would be an easy switch. They basically run the same defenses. And I know the Atlanta Journal-Constitution had a story quoting his high school coach and said, Caleb talked to me, and he decided on Ohio State because he wanted to be able to play in more than one kind of defense. But Downs, he is. I thought he was the best pick of the first round.
Me too.
But I think that's the kind of player now. The Arvell Reese is another. I would argue that 15 years ago he would have been an SEC player, say with Downs. But now Big Ten schools are paying as much money. They have better coaches. And Arvell Reese is an Ohio kid, but the Ohio kids do leave. But
people are getting hostile at you. People are getting hostile at you saying, over on YouTube, our YouTube, that they have better coaches. People don't believe that. Bino, do you buy that? They have better football coaching. They have better coaching. Go ahead.
Let me. Who was the SEC's best coaching hire this offseason? The Big Ten hired the winningest coach in Utah football history as a placeholder, for God's sake. That's impressive.
Crazy.
And then you have the SEC schools hiring an offensive coordinator from Oregon who was a high school coach in 2019. You have a Tulane coach being hired. You got the Memphis coach being hired. You got the USF coach being hired. There is no question but that the Big Ten has better coaches.
Bino, you.
I mean, it's hard to argue when you look up there and you see Cignetti, as part of that group now, and Ryan Day.
I think the Campbell guy's been pretty good at Penn State, which is one of their signature programs.
He was the winningest coach in Iowa State football history.
Yeah, he's very good.
People talk about, he never won a title at Iowa State. Iowa State hasn't won a conference title since 1912. It's
Johnny Majors used to tell me.
Horrible program.
Majors told me when he was there in the early 70s, he said, Tony, it's because we were talking about him one time at the end of his life. He was like, it's impossible to win there. Like, literally impossible. And what he did is he waited till he cooled off. If he would have jumped 5 years ago, Bino, when he was semi-hot, he would have been a hot name. Look, I don't know if he makes it at Penn State. I don't know what Penn State's place in that league is. I don't think they have a place in that league, quite frankly. But that said, you've got the Ryan Day guy who I don't know whether he's a collector of talent or a coach, but still, he collects a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's part of the deal here.
It is.
The guy at Michigan's pretty good, right, obviously. The guy at Penn State, USC, the jury's still out on that dude. I think UCLA made a good hire. I don't know if they have the money to compete. The guy at Washington's pretty good. They do have a pretty good list of coaches.
It's pretty easy to get me to bristle when you compare the SEC and the Big Ten.
I understand.
But I'm not offended by people saying maybe they've got a better set of coaches now than the SEC has.
And the problem is, and you're seeing this right now, our commissioner does not want to give in to them because there truly is an arms race going on between those two leagues. And there's going to be, until they bring it under one umbrella and they unite this thing and they put it under one umbrella, and until they do, we're going to fight them, they're going to fight us, and we're not going to do things that are good for each other. Because that's not good. That's not them taking Downs out of our league and calling him a first-round draft pick. That's not a good thing for us, Bino.
No.
That's going to keep going on. So, Hugie, in your mind, that league's better, or this is a blip on the radar? Because Doinky just reminded me behind me here, and Dave, they just reminded me that we've gone three national champions in a row, which is lost on me. They've got three national champions. And another thing that used to be our calling card is we owned all the championships.
Right. And
now
three
they've
national
taken the draft from
us. Three
us.
different teams as well. And Cignetti was Indiana lucked into Cignetti. There's absolutely no way that the Indiana athletic department realized when they hired Curt Cignetti what a massive shift was coming for IU football. But do I think the SEC has bad coaches? No. But I think the Big Ten has better coaches. I think it shows in, again, they hired Matt Campbell, and you can think Matt Campbell's not good because he didn't win a national or didn't win a Big 12 title at Iowa State. They hired Kyle Whittingham. The two winningest coaches at the schools they came from. And the SEC's best hire, was it a guy that left Tulane? Was it a guy who left USF? I think that shows. I think the SEC is willing to swing for more fences when it's coaching hires, and I think that sometimes backfires. But, again, the idea that the Big Ten had the most guys drafted in the first round, which was the SEC's bailiwick for 2 decades straight should make everybody sort of sit up and realize the SEC is a little bit, and I'm an SEC alum, and I've lived in the Southeast almost my entire life. The SEC is sort of cruising on its past rep, and yes, it can change in an instant. But I also will say this: the idea that Ohio State had 4 guys taken in the top 11, that used to be what Alabama did. And Alabama had 2 guys taken in the first round, including a quarterback who only started 1 year, and you can argue that was not a good pick, but whatever. But there's still good players in the SEC. I think this year showed that the elite top-level talent, at least NFL-wise, was in the Big Ten, and that's always one thing the SEC could say. The NFL likes our players the best. That means our players are the best, but they can't say that this year.
Yeah, and you and I are thinking Kiffin's the best hire in the entire cycle, but he moves within the conference, so it doesn't change the paradigm.
Exactly. That's the difference. So, and obviously Kiffin was a good hire, but you're hiring a guy from the school literally next to you in the league. The other schools in your league went out and brought in guys. The Big Ten brought in guys who are extremely accomplished.
I'll say this, Bina. Hugie, I'm pretty nonplussed by Auburn's hire. That guy.
Golich is a very interesting.
I don't understand.
Fascinating story. I think the guy is a good offensive mind, but
I don't think he's a head
I wonder
coach.
about the staff he put together.
Yeah.
The Ryan Silverfield hire at Arkansas does not
makes
inspire
zero
confidence
sense
at all for me.
No, it makes 0 sense.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and Kiffin was already an SEC coach. So that doesn't change the metrics here.
Here is the one thing, though, that Kiffin will do, which I think is interesting in future drafts. So when you would argue about this kind of thing, first of all, he's going to swing for the fences at LSU and try to win national championships. We know that. That's his mentality.
Yes.
Secondly, he already has a payroll north of $50 million. That's the belief in the industry that they are that big a spender already. $50 million. And I think he'll spend more. I mean, I think if Lane Kiffin's left to his own devices, he'd go to $75 million if he could.
But think about that. That's beyond. That's asinine. $50 million for if that's indeed the figure for a college football team's payroll. That means everybody on the team is averaging around $500K. That's just stupid. But anyway, but you're right though. Kiffin is he's a guy who, I think if you said, Lane, LSU's in a great shape to win the SEC title, I don't care. I want to win the national. That's all he's out there for. So we'll see if that pays off. But some of the stuff he has said during spring practice makes you wonder if he really has a roster, or Kiffin's not one of those coaches who hides in the weeds. So some of the stuff he says has been interesting. And if Sam Levitt gets hurt, all bets are off.
By the way, shout out to Nega Dave, who is on the porch today, out here at Calhoun's on the river, where we be. It's absolutely outstanding. It's a beautiful day. DJ said, watching Dave's comments and hearing his calls down through the years, I look forward to him sending his lunch back 2 or 3 times because it's not prepared properly. But and yes, Hugie, he's one of them. But Hugie, we're talking about the other thing here, since all politics are local. The Vols, at one spot, were slated to maybe get 2 first-rounders last night, and they end up getting none. And I can't help but point out how important it is when you're endeavoring to play at the top of the deal to have some first-rounders come out in the wash. At the end of it all, you have to have, if you're going to have a credible program at the top of it, whether people want to hear this or not, you have to have first-round picks. You just do. That's a little bit of a blow to us last night that didn't happen.
Yeah,
and it didn't happen for various reasons.
A first-round pick, it sells your program to the casual fan, and it also sells it to the hardcore fan. Tennessee does a great job of developing players, that kind of stuff. Now, McCoy obviously has some medical issues, evidently, that caused him to not get drafted in the first round. But I think there is extreme value in first-round picks. I also think there's extreme value in we had the most draft picks among Big Ten teams. We had the most draft picks among SEC teams. We had the most draft pick among Big 12 teams because players do care. They care about money more than anything, but at the same time, if I can go there, and they put 26 guys in the NFL draft in the last 4 years. That's pretty good, but this other school's put 37 in. That's even better. They must be doing something at the other school, so I'm going to go there. So I think draft picks do make a difference to recruits. Yeah. Certainly makes a difference to fans, and you always hear it mentioned on telecasts as well, sort of like free advertising for your program in terms of development.
Well, you just have to. And last night they had two guys, one of whom got hurt this season, who was going to be a first-round pick, and the other of whom had a surgery 13 months ago, and they think he might have something structural going on, which bumped him out of the first round as well, which is really just a bad break. The other thing that I point out is that Miami last night, a sign of a school being back, Miami last night with 3 first-round picks. And how about Indiana? You and I are roughly the same age. Indiana had their first-round pick since 1994 last night. 32 years. And they had a couple last night, and they're going to have a couple next year, which just shows you, again, that if you're healthy and you're at the top, and Bino, it's not everything, but I think it's kind of important to start landing some first-rounders.
It's one of the vital signs.
Yeah, that's a good line.
It's one of the vital signs.
Yeah. Is it overrated, Hugie, or do you think it's true?
If you're annually producing first-round picks, chances are your program is well-run and winning. And, yes, there's outliers there. Florida had a first-round pick last night. Florida has not been a well-run program.
Right.
But I think that kind of stuff for, Ohio State expects first-rounders. Georgia expects first-rounders. Oklahoma used to. Alabama still does. LSU does. It's interesting, the LSU guy who was picked in the first round was only there for a year. He came from Virginia Tech. But the high-level programs, elite programs, produce first-round picks. And that's, it's a vital sign to me to be a highly run, highly productive, well-run program.
One other thing for you. Let's just appreciate Ryan Day for a second. How do you have that much talent in 2 drafts, and then you're going to have 3 or 4 first-rounders next year? How did they lose in the playoffs? Because he has to go at a snail's pace. He did it against Indiana, and he did it in their playoff game. How in the world, Bino, did they not cut the nets down last year? How do you manage to do that when you have all that talent?
Yeah, I don't know, Tony, unless you're kind of going up against the team that had the quarterback that was picked number 1.
But I also think that Ryan Day plays not to lose more than he plays to win at times. I think a lot of coaches fall back into that. Signetti is not one. But I think some coaches become too cautious, and I think Ryan Day is that. But you're right about, yes, it's not like Ohio State was bad, but they produced a ton of high-level NFL talent, and I think falling short last year bothered some people. Though again, they had a brand new quarterback, all that kind of stuff. But at least they're in the mix every year. They're pumping out players, which means they're going to continue to pump out players. So, and one other aspect of the SEC versus Big Ten, the Big Ten won both basketball titles, men's and women's. They also have the number 1 ranked baseball team.
No, they didn't.
Granted, it's UCLA, which is it's in the Big Ten.
Did they really?
It's really not.
They won the women's and the men's?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had UCLA won the women's.
Michigan, UCLA.
And Michigan won the men. So right now, Tony Petitti is riding extremely high.
And how about this? They hoodwinked the SEC commissioner into going, which is something he didn't want to do, a 9-game schedule because he thought they were going to go to 16. And now they're not at 16. He's got yuck on his face. And the Big Ten's holding out for 24.
Yeah, and the 24, I think that's a bridge too far.
That's way excessive,
I don't want
man.
a 2014 playoff.
No, it's excessive.
But
every football coach in America,
right
Bino,
now,
wants 24.
Yeah, it's the king of the college football universe right now. Again, the SEC was the king for a long time. Kings can be deposed. They can be beaten in battle. So it's not like this,
Yep.
oh, my God, the SEC's done forever. No, they could bounce back. I mean, the SEC can win football next year and win the next 6. But right now, I think the Big Ten wears the mantle, and I think the draft was the sort of closing argument there. We had more players taken than you guys, and for decades we heard from you guys how important the draft is. You can't change your opinion about it important to the draft at this point. So we're the best right now.
It has got to gall Sankey Bino what's happened here, right?
Yeah.
Gall him. Because he would parade around like a little peacock. Now, he had nothing to do with it, but he would parade around like a little peacock, nor could he have anything to do with reversing it. I don't know how you can, like to Bino's point, we've had this discussion. They're owning these championships. They're doing what they're doing. And then you've got the Big 12's oil money to contend with, which is another story for another day. And Texas Tech, when they want to flex in some of these sports. So, Bino, what is the solution for this league? I mean, does it just means more? Is that going to be enough to carry the day? And
yeah, you would hope the fact that that it's almost a second religion here.
Yes,
somehow kicks it into another gear. Just gets tired of being tired.
Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Higgy, what do you think? What is the? Is there? Is this going to be a yin and a yang deal
in all this? But the SEC, it's not poor. I think and maybe one of the coaches that was hired from a group of 5 is a Grand Slam home run hire. Maybe Kiffin becomes the new Nick Saban. So that's not going to happen. But
the answer on the other side, Hugie, when I think it was Sankey basically put out an edict that SEC basketball needed to kick it into gear.
That was
the previous commissioner
when he brought in
Live.
He said we need
hire
better
some coaches.
He said we need better coaches.
So Mike may be on to that.
And
how about the commissioner coming out and saying, hey, league schools, why don't you hire some better football coaches? How do you think that would look publicly?
Yeah, that would not go over well.
How do you think
that would not go
How do you
over
think
well.
the presidents? It's one thing to do that with basketball.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. That is how you do it. I mean, you get guys that are hungry to go get players.
This was back when when there was the Big 6, and the SEC annually was 5th or 6th in basketball, and Slive got tired of it and realized this is a fertile area for basketball talent, high school wise, and no one cared. I think now, Nate Oates just got a huge raise. Todd Golden is making tons of bucks. I don't think Rick Barnes is underpaid. Sean Miller's making a lot. There's money. Will Wade's making a lot. Mark Pope's making a lot. There's money in SEC basketball. I think part of the problem there was this past season some coaches did a poor job in the portal. But SEC basketball is a hell of a lot better than it was even 10 years ago.
Hey, Higgy, you've been in this business a long time. There's a story that's way under the radar, way more than it should be, and I just want to ask you about it. We're going to totally change the subject now. And by the way, to the callers, if you want to talk about the Civil War, it's a pretty good word, Bino, that's going on between the two leagues, and is going to continue to be waged in all these sports because there's no rules now. It's total anarchy. Just as a point of an observation, their coaches seem a lot more apt to want to play in the transfer portal in football than our coaches for whatever reason. Lane Kiffin notwithstanding. Kirby Smart's not super active. He's kind of active in it. The guy at Alabama, they're not super active in the transfer portal. I'm just making observations here. Some of those Big Ten teams are super aggressive in that portal. The guy at Indiana got the first pick in the draft out of Cal. But anyway, we got time to talk about that. I want to talk to you about who's inside with Rousini and Vrabel. This Diana Rousini story. Now, she gives new meaning to the term inside source there, Hugie. And who knows what all's gone on here. But Mike Vrabel has basically skated so far in this thing. How can the NFL, Hugie, when she's breaking all those stories, he's obviously getting fed stuff from her. She's an NFL insider. They have access to who's hurt, who's not. They have all this inside information. People think about this now. They have all this inside information. That is a huge, huge story that the NFL nobody is talking about. Hugie, if she gets fired, why doesn't he get fired?
Well, technically she resigned, but
okay,
yeah, the situation's unfortunate on just a boatload of levels. First of all, both these people are married with kids. Okay, the family aspect of this. Okay, from a journalism standpoint, you're not supposed to have personal relationships with your sources. Men with women's sources, women with male sources. So
yes.
that's a fireable offense in and of itself. The
yes.
Vrabel stuff, you're right. The idea that only the information flow only went one way. I think that's extremely naive to think that.
Thank you.
Your point is extremely interesting.
Thank you.
Vrabel. It's funny. The New York Post reaches out and says we're going to be publishing more photos of you and Diana Rousini, and on Wednesday, and then Wednesday afternoon you go, I'm going to go in and start. I'm going to start counseling right away. I'm starting it on Sunday. Well, if it needs to be started right away, why don't you start right away? But that's not that.
Hey, Hugie, that information.
I think that personal peccadillos for coaches and owners are treated differently than they are with players. Now, granted, players have affairs as well. Sometimes they're publicized and they get out. I don't know. I don't know if the NFL has it within its purview to do anything to Vrabel. I'll be interested to see if the Patriots do, though. Given their ownership, he may be saying, "Good for you, Mike." Because I'm not a huge Robert Kraft fan.
Yeah, that's a thing. I mean, Kraft had his. How do you put this?
He had his own peccadillos as well.
Yeah, he had the noon special down in West Palm Beach. Tom Brady was deflating balls.
Yeah, it's a salacious story. It's like a soap opera. The idea that
the head coach
Rousini named her first kid Michael. And obviously this relationship with Vrabel's been going on for a while. The whole thing
gross.
It's sort of it makes your skin crawl, and then you're like, ooh, are there more photos too? It's an interesting situation, but I understand why Rousini stepped down before she got fired. I just think there's a different level of what's expected from an employee in the NFL and in journalism.
This Rousini is a real treat and a treasure now. She knows she's having an affair with this guy for like 6 years. She asks him on the record, Bino, about his wife being a great athlete. And he looks at her and says, yeah, she used to be. And then Rousini online has a couple of different things where she's literally dragging her husband, like ripping him down through the years. She seems like a real treat and a real treasure. And I'll tell you one thing about her. I mean, do her eyes work? Look at that Vrabel guy. I mean, no offense to him.
Yeah, but I think it's funny. My wife and I talk about this. Women tend to overlook men's
looks,
the way they look.
Women want confidence.
Thankfully,
women like machismo.
No,
they like people like me.
According
they like
to her,
confidence.
she's like, we care more about your personality.
That's right.
And I'm like,
That's
well,
why.
thank God for that, because if you didn't, you would have walked right past me the first time you saw me. But,
no, you and I are both attractive. We're both attractive people.
But I mean, it's the idea that we're discussing this sort of makes me uncomfortable. But at the same time, I was all over Twitter yesterday reading reactions to all the latest round of photos.
It stole the draft day. I'll tell you what, the New York Post was brilliant.
I'll be honest, it's leading up to the draft.
Yes.
I think the NFL news cycle was more on Vrabel than it was on the draft, and the draft was 6 hours away.
I mean, how can this be stunning to anyone? I mean, 6 or 7 years ago, ESPN was doing that fantasy draft, and she was a part of it, and the name of her team was I Reach for Tight Ends. So,
are you kidding me?
No. I mean,
you are joking.
This isn't exactly any stunning.
So this was all an inside joke. I'm going to name my kid after you. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm not kidding, okay? If I were the husband, I would immediately, and it's a sad thing to say, I'd go have a paternity test on both those kids. You think I'm kidding, Hugie, don't you? I'm not kidding.
No, I think that's, and I think if I'm her husband and his wife, I would be. You've made me a laughing stock.
And we're
done.
Yeah, her stuff literally. When those photos hit the New York Post yesterday, her photos would have been on the. I mean, not her photos, but all her stuff would have been on the front lawn, and I'd have turned the sprinklers on.
Yeah, and I guess she disabled her social media yesterday.
Oh, and no kidding, Diana. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Okay, so Hugie, it's time for our mover of the week. It might be her. We might need some good fun moving and storage for her. But Hugie, without further ado, I can't figure out, Bino, in their relationship who had more of a leg up in that deal, her or him. But let's go. I digress, though.
Hugie, you do.
Hugie, without further ado, it's time for the mover of the week, presented by our friends at Gufon Moving and Storage. Online at GufonMovingandStorage.com. Hit it, Hugie.
Okay, in the vein of SEC versus Big Ten, I'm going to pick on two SEC schools. One is Alabama and one is Georgia. First, I think these teams are both, I'm going to put them in a loser category. Why did Alabama feel the need to give a 2-year extension to Calhoun DeBoer? Their 2-year extension and a raise. He's making $12.5 million, which is more than Saban ever made. I don't get why. Again, I think Calhoun DeBoer is a really good coach. But in what world has he earned a 2-year extension and a raise? That's ludicrous to me.
Not just a raise. No, not just a raise. One of the richest deals in the deal.
Extension too. Yeah, and he's one of the highest paid coaches in the country.
Yeah,
$12.5 million. And this is why it's hard to have much sympathy for athletic administrators who always cry about, oh my God, the costs are just exploding. Well, one reason the costs are exploding is that ADs give stupid extensions and raises.
Yep.
Okay, the other one is Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia baseball coach Wes Johnson. Okay, Georgia and Georgia Tech played the other night at Truist Park, the Braves Stadium.
Yep.
Which is awesome. They raised more than 20,000 showed up. They raised money for a children's charity. The Georgia Tech coach, James Ramsey, in his first year says, this is awesome. Playing in the Major League parks is fantastic. It gives our players an idea of what the majors is like because we're walking on the field, we're walking the concourses, we're in the dressing rooms, the locker rooms. This is fantastic. Wes Johnson was complaining about it. He says, this is something I'm not interested in doing anymore. He was moaning. Foley Field in Athens is one of the smallest ballparks in the SEC. Wes Johnson's entire takeaway was, we hit 4 fly balls that would have been home runs at home, and here they were caught. And I'm thinking, are you serious? Your players are in a major league ballpark playing in front of 20,000 fans, raising money for a children's charity in a ballpark that has it's close in dimension to the one that's at the College World Series, and you're moaning because it wasn't a home game where you can hit it 315 to right field and it goes out.
So,
and I'm thinking, this dude,
yep.
Think about your players, man. The idea that they're playing in the same outfield where the Braves play, where the Phillies play, where the Dodgers play, that should be awesome for a player. And instead you got the coach complaining that he doesn't want to do this again because long fly balls were outs.
Hugie, you're the man. I love you. I appreciate you. Keep doing you, and we'll keep coming to you, my friend. Thank you, my brother.
All right, talk to you next week. Thanks.
The great Mike Hugan. And hey, Bino, Dr. Z DDS has the Copper Card comment of the first hour. Copper Card is in the mail to him, or maybe it's not.
Will be.
But he wrote the following. I always thought the first affair, I'm going to sort of take liberty with what he wrote and rewrite it a little bit. But the thought is still there. I always thought the first affair between a coach and someone that covered a team would have been between Vitello and Basilio.
You just sent him 2 copper cards.
Now that is next level.
Oh,
but I do want to say for the record, though, I think it's a total double standard. And I think the NFL is NWO. And I find it totally disgraceful that this Rousini lady, who had a $2 million a year job, gets fired. Okay? First of all, there's a new meaning to the term inside source. We now know that. Maybe, Bino, there's a new meaning to the term blended family. Her poor husband might have a blended family and not even know it. I mean, think about that. Think about what we're talking about. I mean, this is a sports story. They've made this basically disappear. The New York Post said, no, we're going to steal the day of the NFL draft. We're going to bust it out there the day of the NFL draft. We're going to put it right out in the open. And Bino, her inside source may have been an inside source. I mean, one could say that those two, when it came to like the information and their exchange, were joined at the hip, Bino. I mean, no wonder she was breaking all those stories. Goldbrick Joe told me yesterday, we were talking about it, because Goldbrick Joe lives and dies by the NFL and the draft, and yesterday was a huge day to him.
Yeah.
Like he was popping his pop. Some guys, that's how they're wired, and ladies, they love this draft stuff. So Goldbrick said, no wonder she was breaking all those stories. And, you know, Vrabel, if you look at him, he kind of always seemed to have a leg up on the information, on his competition. So was her inside source using her for inside information? I think Vrabel should lose his job. I think it's a total double standard. Punish the woman, and I'm being serious here. Punish the woman and let the man skate. He should, yes or no, he should lose his job.
Yes.
Because he's being reckless. He's being callous. He doesn't care about the organization that he represents. I mean, hell, it's bad enough to go out there and put that damn Titan logo on and stand there with 5 shades of blue on. Then you want to act like that?
He probably is representing that organization the way they're accustomed to being represented.
Come back on the other side.
The Patriots.
And the Cheatriots, yeah. I mean, the Cheatriots are only in New England could that happen. Where we go, and Robert Kraft probably saying to himself, that's a man after my own heart right there. No offense to him, but Old Crafty. Old Crafty Craft. I mean, Bino, Robert Kraft. Look, when you look at him, is that like a guy you trust? Robert Kraft?
No, Tony.
Okay.
He's not.
8 of the first 12 picks last night were Big Ten players. Now, they ended up having 8 of the first 22, rather. They ended up having 10 overall in the first round, to the SEC 7. But the first 22 picks, 8 of the first 22 were Big Ten players. The SEC had 5. The ACC had 4 of the first 22 picks, with Miami getting 3 of the 4. Here's the thing. Is it overrated? Is it overrated in terms of what and how this is going to work? The fact that there's a changing of the guard. Do you even care? Do you care, Bino? We'll ask you that on the other side. And then our baseball team takes the field in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Is there anything left of them? Do they have anything left? Or are they done? Stick a fork in them. Because if this is a major league team, Bino, and we're talking about them, that's what we would ask after last night. Baseball's a sport where it's either happening for you or it isn't. And one game feeds another with teams and with players. And boy, these guys, man, their body language last night, just an odd season.
Well, we're basically in the college season.
Yeah.
At the same point you would be in a major league season around the trade deadline when you were deciding if you were a buyer or you're a seller.
It's August right now. It's August. Mm-hmm. We come back on the other side. We're live today at Calhoun's on the river. Huge crowd out here. It's awesome, Andy Mack. As we continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready, because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, when you schedule any HVAC or plumbing repair, your service fee is waived with the completed repair. That means expert help fast without the extra cost just to show up. Our certified technicians will quickly diagnose the issue and provide reliable solutions to make your home comfortable again. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when help matters most. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. Schedule your repair today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Service fee waived with completed HVAC or plumbing repair. Restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online.
What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Basilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. TB back with you, 865-200-5402. It is absolutely next level. We're live today at Calhoun's on the river. It's a beautiful day to be alive and well. I want to shout out Kevin in Muletown, who's come out and have hung out with us. I want to shout out my Philadelphia Eagles for being the gold standard. They just continue to, I don't even know what to say. I'm not real comfortable about it. I'm comfortable with it being they're such a gold standard deal, the way they operate. As a Philadelphia fan, I don't even know how to. Yeah. I'm more at home with the Phillies, who have an aging lineup and a team I hate. Anyway.
I heard you going down your lineup, hating on every position.
Bino, you had a Yankee team a couple years ago you despised.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm to the age now where if I don't like watching you, I'm not going to watch you. Just because I'm a fan of your team, I'm not going to sit there and spend 4 hours a night watching that. Kind of like, I'll tell you what, I hate to say this. This baseball team being stars, getting ready to cross into that. You said it. You're the one that said it.
I said what?
we will put up with and watch bad basketball.
No.
We will put up with and watch bad football because it's ingrained in us.
Yeah.
We're not going to sit there and watch baseball when you're hitting. How many walks last night?
I
think 10.
And
10,
they hit
right?
5 or 6 batters, hit 4 in one inning.
And 4 hit batsmen in one inning. And one guy, they dotted his I and crossed his T right upside his head, Bino.
Wow. Yeah.
That looked like Negative throwing at somebody back in the day in softball.
Sammy walks.
All right, Bino, you had something you wanted to get into. Yeah, we walked 10 last night. You had something you wanted to get into, though, Beanstar, which is?
I think an interesting discussion right now,
yes.
Tony, to go along with this SEC and Big Ten.
Yes.
And I think there are a lot of SEC teams that still fall into this.
Okay.
Not just Tennessee, but
it's interesting right here.
I always thought that the best way to build a football program is to build it through high school signing classes.
Yes.
And then supplement through the portal. The more this thing goes on, the more I believe that that Tennessee needs to highly increase their reliance on the transfer portal and decrease it on high school signing classes. I just don't think guys are going to stay around long enough to be developed. I think your roster's going to get vultured when you've got good young players.
That's right.
So I'm beginning, and I know that Josh Heupel is still one that feels the other way. And I guess these next couple of years are going to tell whether he's right and some other teams in the conference that's their operation, their operating way, or not. I think the next couple of years are going to prove one way or the other.
Trotaji wrote about the Sorsby kid, Bino. I really believe if they wanted him, they could have gotten him. And I can't figure out why they didn't go get him, other than we have a head coach who, for whatever reason, just has not made the pivot that Barnes has. And I think you have to come – these are stubborn people.
Yeah.
And we're men. Football coaches are very stubborn men by nature. All men are stubborn. Tina, can I get an amen to that? Is this fella you're with stubborn? Amen. That didn't take long. Diana Rossini tells me that her men are both stubborn. So I think it's a conclusion he's going to have to come to. I don't understand. Look at the enormity of this place. I mean, we're sitting here right now on the banks of the Tennessee River.
Yeah.
This program is so enormous in American college football. The critics and the people in our media around here that like to blame our fans for why we don't win, the fans are not a reason. The boosters are not a reason. This beautiful place is not a reason. This scene at Calhoun's on the river, when I brought my friends from Pennsylvania here for the first time, and you were out here, and they were like,
yeah,
this is utterly, and it was on the eve of a football game. They were like, my friend Mike does work all over the world, including the Vatican, in Rome, including golf courses in Ireland, including, I mean, you name the Augusta National. He's done work all over the place. Palm Springs. He says, Tony, this right here is as beautiful as anywhere you're going to go.
Yeah.
All it's going to take is a will and a want to, but the answer is, does that head coach inevitably have the will, and does he want to? Like, if you gave Lane Kiffin this job tomorrow,
yeah,
we know exactly what he would do.
Yeah.
He'd do exactly what Rick Barnes is doing. He'd take his foot. And people think I'm being critical. I'm not being critical, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. But like you're saying, the problem is, Bino, if I'm hiring, right, which is what you're doing when you're recruiting kids, because now this is professional. why wouldn't I want more information on you? And why would I fool around with high school kids?
Yeah, and I don't think it's a want to. I mean, I don't think it's lack of will. I just think it's not his philosophy.
That's what I'm saying.
I think his philosophy is different.
Right.
And we're gonna find out over the next couple of years if
you can do it,
if
right?
you can do it,
Yeah.
or if you can't. And you know, I think he's out there working. I just don't.
Sure.
I just think he prefers to go the high school route, and I don't know that that's right today in this time, in this climate.
Here's the problem, okay? Here's the problem. Because it confuses fans, right? You watch what the basketball team is confusing me. You and I both know, and you know off the air, that I like Josh High. I think a lot of the guy. Bino will tell you that. People think I don't. I do. But I have a way sometimes when I get in my moods or, sometimes I convey things and they come out more sharply and harshly than they should. But it really is a philosophy thing. It's not that the guy doesn't work at it. I mean, obviously, they had a great recruiting class this past year.
Yeah.
But I stand with Bino 1,000%. If I would have made the playoffs 2 years ago and I was on the field with Ohio State and I saw that they bought a key running back they used against us in that game, and I saw that they used a safety that was a sophomore back then in that game, and I saw that they had other transfer players on their team, and I'm out there with a fork going against somebody that's got a gun in their hand, I think I would have come back to me. I would have gone back to my boosters and said, guys, y'all sat in the cold in that game. Let's play the next playoff game in our building. I need you guys. We're going to go into the portal, and we're going to get a bunch of players. Because here's the thing, and I don't know what the number is. Somebody that really follows recruiting could tell me this. How many of those first-round players started at their particular school?
Yeah, it's interesting,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the draft. Let's do this real quick. Because
I'm not very good at this.
Well,
remembering where people were.
Well, Dave could help me. He follows it. NFL draft last night. All right, let's just start with the first pick in the draft.
Let me make one more point.
Go ahead.
Go there,
Go ahead.
Tony. And see, I don't think it's only Tennessee. I think the conference.
No. I think you're right.
I think the SEC's been slow to react to that.
That's the point.
And I think
they
need to look around and say, "Hey,
that's the point."
Have we?
That's the point.
Yeah.
If you don't get involved with Bino, look David Bailey up for me from Texas Tech, or Brian, look him up. Somebody look up David Bailey for me. If you're this league and you don't start buying and shopping from other teams, the Big Ten's going to lap you because they've already shown you. The guy at Ohio State has a stomach for buying other players. The guy at Penn State's going to do that. Kyle Whittingham at Michigan is going to do that. They're going to buy, and they're going to shop off other people's rosters. So, okay. The number 1 and number 2 picks last night were transfer players. Mendoza started at Cal. He ended up at Indiana, and he was the first pick in last night's draft. And by the way, Cal don't get no credit for that. Cal does not get, and that's the other point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's not Aaron Rodgers.
No.
He plays 1 year at Indiana, and he probably would have gone highly in the draft anyway. They probably would have found him and liked him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Mendoza's 1. David Bailey, Bino, transfer, yes or no?
Yes, started at Stanford.
Arvell Reese is the guy that the Arizona Cardinals took from Ohio State last night. We'll have to look him up.
I think Arvell Reese is a full-time Ohio State player.
Yep. Jeremiah Love was another guy that we'll have to look up. But here's the thing. The offensive lineman from Miami that got taken in the top of the draft, you know where he started? He started where? He started at, talk to me here. He started at Colorado because we lost out to him. Didn't he transfer from Colorado down to Miami? I think he did. Carnell Tate's a kid that played at Miami the whole time.
Jeremiah Love was full-time Notre Dame.
All right. Caleb Downs, we know. Damn right well. Played in two different places. I'm going to, over the weekend, I'm going to look at how many of these guys transferred. I would imagine the number's pretty decent. What would you say the percentage is of guys in that first round, Bino, that transferred? Rodney's reminding me that the LSU DB that went last night was a transfer. I think Bino's right. I mean, obviously, I think he's right. But I don't know where the Makai Lemon guy, the Eagles, got. But if you want to get in, 865-200-5402. The kid from Miami was there his whole career. Yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of Seton. Somebody told me. That's right. And that's the other thing about this Arabino is that it all, and I mean all of it, runs together for me.
Yeah, it does.
It is so hard. I was asking Matt Dixon last night, over a 4-year span, okay? Not guys you're recruiting, but guys who have signed with your team in football. Over a 4-year span, Bino, what do you think the number of people you're involved with over a 4-year span? 150? I mean, it's got to be crazy, that number.
Yeah.
Because you got 85, you got 105 on a roster now. Over 4 years, like last year, Tennessee had like 15 or 16 guys go into the portal. They added 15 or 16 guys. Those guys all count. You're signing full high school classes right now still. And that's the other thing about. Thank you. That's the other thing about a full high school class, Bino. How many of those guys ever see the field? That's another thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, historically, how many of those guys before all of this movement?
Oh, man. All right, let's go to the phones. We'll get as many people in here as humanly possible. If you want to get in the hunting and the mixing and the mixing and the hunting with us, we got one call. So we'd love to hear from you today. Question for you. Is this baseball team alive and well coming in? Bino, are they alive and well right now? What's your sense of this?
Tony, I'm giving it one more day here. I'm going to say they're still alive. Again, they need to win 2 of these Final 4 series. They've got an opportunity to do that today. I've got serious doubts that this team has in them to win the games that they have to win from here out. They'll have to play over 500 baseball from here.
The Lou kid that Tennessee got last night, we have something on him in the blog today. We were expecting Tennessee to get him today. They got him. People are on me because I haven't acknowledged it. Look, I mean, that guy's coming here. He was coming here. I wrote that in the blog today. I don't know what you all want from me. It's not my problem if you didn't read it, but it's there at tclub.team. Check it out. We also today, Throtaji gets into the thing with Sorsby, which is kind of interesting, which I believe is accurate. I think they could have had him if they wanted him. It's water under the bridge now. The decisions you make in basketball and football, you cannot bat 1,000. It goes a million miles an hour. It is what it is. So, and he's going to be a guy that's going to be kind of a rim protector for Tennessee. And what I was told last night is he's an 8th or 9th guy in your rotation, so he'll play some.
You know, I think you can certainly compare aggressiveness in the transfer portal in basketball and football. Now, I do think those are apples and oranges because I believe in basketball you can totally rebuild your roster through the transfer portal, and I still don't think you can do that in football even today.
Back to the phones we go. Well, the other thing about basketball, too, and this is the reason it's not a fair comparison, to be fair to Heupel, everybody's building their basketball team through the transfer portal now. Everybody.
Yeah.
everybody has 6 or 7 new players, as in everybody.
Yeah.
So Kentucky is praying for this ruling to happen so they can crawl in some guys that have just exhausted their eligibility to put a team on the floor next year.
Wow. Kentucky.
My understanding is that our Tennessee Volunteers, and then we'll go to the phones, want Okpara badly back, Bino. He's the guy they badly want back.
I don't blame him. I think
Okpara and then Juke Harris will be their final 2 spots.
You get Juke and Okpara in here, we're ready to roll.
So back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402. I'll give the baseball team credit. They continued to try to add runs last night and showed some life offensively. But when you can't throw it in the ocean in that sport, they remind me of some of the teams we used to tee off on in the golden years. You knew, okay, we got that pitcher out, we got Appenzeller out. Now it's just time to hammer some people. That's a bad spot to be in. Question for you before we go to one more question, then we go to Jason. And the question is this, Bino. Laura and I were talking about this today. We can't figure out why they're playing a doubleheader today because the weather doesn't look terrible tomorrow. It looks like they could get that game in tomorrow if they tried, but whatever, it's their dime, their dance floor. Is that an advantage or disadvantage for our team struggling to have to play 2 in one day? 2 9-inning games, Bino, in your opinion?
You come out there playing well today, it's obviously an advantage to just keep rolling into that day. So it's hard to say, Tony. It's hard to say. I mean, it's extremely hard to win a doubleheader, too, which Tennessee needs to do.
What are the chances out of 10 they win the doubleheader today, Bino? Put you on the clock.
4.
4 out of 10? Hey, Bino? What's the size of my biceps? 24 inches. Say it.
Oh, you're jacked.
I got pythons.
You're jacked.
Let's get our next call in. Jason, hello and welcome in. When Bino gives them a 4 out of 10 chance, I want him to measure my biceps, Jason. Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
I'm going with a 2 out of 10 chance, a 4 out of 10 chance of maybe if they have 10 men on the field. But anyway.
Interesting.
Senior softball.
Senior softball.
5 infielders, 4 outfielders.
Yeah, they need senior softball. Yes, but anyway. Back to what Bino was saying about high school. It's how long before it becomes irrelevant, high school recruiting? Because the portal's the way to go. That's the way they need to be going. These coaches, I feel like Heupel's too proud, too prideful, I guess. And, I feel like that's the case because he's thinking his coaching ability is going to get him there and we've seen Indiana's. That's the way it goes. Is the portal is the way it needs to be going. And how long before high school football becomes irrelevant?
Well, it already has.
Yeah,
look, if you look at the recruiting industry, Bino, and what they're doing, the services. I'm talking about the 247s, the on-3s. Those people have already recalibrated, and you have to.
At the power conference level, it's going to diminish more and more.
Yes.
And then the high school kids will go to a lower level, develop, and then come from there.
Which is exactly the way it ought to be. Farm system, which is exactly the way it ought to be.
Yeah, so say a minor league system almost ideally then.
Yep.
And is there not when these kids transfer, they should be a 2-year with a buyout. If they come to Tennessee, they need to be a 2-year agreement with a buyout.
Hey, Jason, you can't do that, man. That's not going to happen.
Now, how can you not? I get it,
because
that needs to be done.
Well, no, because you don't have collective bargaining. I can't hold you to a contract if I don't collective bargain that.
I'm just saying that's.
I don't see the answer.
There is no answer, Bino.
I don't see the answer.
There is no
Bino,
answer.
If you don't have a union,
I know.
Kid can jump free.
And like you said, who's going to collective bargain when they've already got?
Hell no.
They've got everything.
Hey, Bino, when you worked at Oak Ridge, if you had, God, you're right. Go ahead, man.
I'm saying the season ticket holders. At what point do we say, okay, we're going over there with a new souvenir program about every week now? I mean,
yeah. Well, that's the way it is.
point
How about
where-
these kids that play on these teams? These kids that play on these teams are going to get to know 150 people if you stick around for a couple years.
I don't know. I don't see an end to it. And, you know, these coaches, they're going to have to come off their little bit of a – I mean, Vitello had no problem letting Frank Anderson call a lot of shots. I feel like, I mean, he was humble and he wasn't that prideful. And he got out of the way when he knew it was time to get out of the way. I don't feel like we have that with Heupel. I could be wrong. I just don't feel like that. And, you know, Rick Barnes has caught on to the game. He's finally catching on how to play it.
Well,
why are we not, like you said, why are we not going to our boosters after we got our ass handed to us by Ohio State?
Here's the thing about Rick Barnes, though, is that it's taken him a while to see the offensive light, but he has. You know, look, the thing about these sports is you have to be willing to be nimble. Like everybody in our society, like in my business right now, you have got to be willing. Change is happening so quickly in our deal. I mean, when I started out, man, I was a radio guy. Now these days, I mean, it's insane how I was talking with a TV guy in town about this. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got to use everything at your disposal as you can. I really believe that.
I agree. And I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if I've ever seen that in the football.
Yep.
I don't.
Well, we lost you, Jason, but I appreciate the call. Thank you. Your sentiments appreciated. Hey, Bino, somebody counted them up. Of the first round last night, 9 of those guys were transfer players. That's a high number. Next year, what will the number be of the first rounders?
Yeah. It's going to keep increasing.
Yeah. And I hate it. I really kind of hate it for everybody involved because it's exhausting. And I love it for the kids, though. I've often been an advocate, like down through the years in the old system, and Bino knows this because he's seen it. People would walk up to me and go, well, I saw so-and-so get so few $1,000s or whatever it is. And I'm like, good.
Good for them.
Good for them. Bino and I always told people, hey, good for those kids, man. Let me tell you something. You think playing football's easy? Shh. You're risking your life every time you go out there. I mean, are you kidding me? It's extremely difficult. Like, I wrestled in high school, okay, which is hard enough. I couldn't imagine playing football. I mean, that is 865-200-5402 if you want to get in with us. I think 9 out of 32 spots is a lot of players, don't you?
Sure, yeah.
Like almost overnight?
Knocking on a third of the draft. So,
yeah.
And I'm like you. I think that it will keep increasing. It wouldn't stun me at all if next year or the year after we see that half of the first round are transfers.
Yeah. 865-200-5402. The other thing we've learned here, the other thing I've learned that I appreciate, and just because you're a transfer doesn't mean you can have less of a legacy. Like, I think the cement guy is going to walk out of here a very loved player. I think Gillespie is going to walk out of here as a very
like
loved
Dave
player.
Said. Yeah.
Connect's going to be a very beloved player.
Yeah.
And I think we've had some guys in football that have made an impact very quickly, being very good teammates. I mean, I think it's I
think we've seen the end of somebody's number going up in the rafters.
Probably.
But you're going to see
probably
highly thought of, beloved players.
Speaking of numbers in the rafters, can we get Burke's number on the outfield?
It needs to be there. That's way overdue. Way overdue. Burke's here enough. You ought to just go out there and put it on there.
Burke was only here. I invited him down here today, and he's already on his way to Florida. They had him stop here last night, do a one-off, and now he's gone down to Florida to call a series. So we've got that to discuss. We've got all kinds of things to get into. We're live today at Calhoun's on the River, where it's jam-packed out here, as we continue with more on the other side right after this.
You gotta
Want to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times. 80 proof of vodka delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka, T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
TB back with you. I want to shout out the kid from Alabama last night.
Wow.
That hit that home run.
Did he mash that or what?
Bino, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that in my life.
I don't think I've ever seen a farther homer than that. You know, I can't. When I was a kid, Bobby Thompson used to hit it out of sight over there, but that was when there was just a fence, and then across the road there was some kind of plant or something.
Shout out Bobby Thompson.
But that was just an absolute missile.
So it's ironic, right? Because when I was a kid, I wrote to the blog today. I was covering Auburn, Tennessee. Lean years for Tennessee. Auburn had an incredible baseball team. That was back in the Bo Jackson, Frank Thomas days. Bo had just left their campus, but Frank Thomas was there, who went on to become a Hall of Famer. He hit 2 balls on a Sunday afternoon. I'm telling you right now, the first one he hit, where the porches are, was way over the road. When it went over the trees on the other side of the fence, the ball was still going up. I think that ball was hit 600 feet. I'm not kidding you. I asked a couple people that were in the building that day. I think Mark Griffin was there, because I think that was the day Griff told him to sit down later in the game. That ball that kid hit last night, a friend of mine was at the game. My buddy Brad, with his 6-year-old son. He said his son turned to him and said, "Dad, he killed that ball."
Oh, it's a mash job.
I mean, it doesn't matter who you're cheering for. When you see a guy hit a ball like that,
wow.
I mean, that's superhuman stuff.
Tip your cap. He just killed it. How in the world's he only hit 4 or 5 homers?
Runs.
I misspoke. Of course, I went all the way back to the 1950s. I was talking about Bobby Tucker, not Bobby Thompson with the New York Giants.
Well, you had me the shot heard around the world, Bino. You had me at hello. Let's go back to our phones. I'm so fired up, focused, and prepared right now. You can't even believe it. It's Tennessee's. I don't want to be too dramatic because anything can happen in baseball. They can string together 9 wins in a row, I guess.
Sure.
But it feels like their last stand this afternoon, Beanstar.
I think it's critical that they win both games.
Feels like we're in last stand territory here. Let's get Ryan in the mix and in the hunt. Ryan, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Ryan in Chattanooga. It's been a long time.
Hey, Ryan. Great to hear your voice, my friend from the Scenic City.
Well, I got to tell you, the thing I was wondering last night watching that game was how worried I am for this program, because when you look around the conference, like, everybody's got pretty much the same resources when it comes to baseball. Like, everyone's program is pretty much even I mean, you got history at some places like LSU or South Carolina or Vanderbilt or whatever, but like everybody's got the same resources right now. The big dynamic shift is when you have a coach that guys want to play for. And that's the thing that worries me about Elander is how much of that vibe that Tony had that was like guys want to play for him, and not like guys who get recruited want to go to Tennessee instead of go to the draft and play for him, but like during the season in the midst of a game, guys want to stand up and play for that coach, and instead of just kind of rolling over the way the pitching staff did last night. That worries me a little bit for Elander.
But you know what? You say that. Last year's team won one series at home, right? I mean, to be fair to Elander, I mean, last year's team struggled to win at home. This year's team, if they don't win today, if they don't sweep this series, they're going to win one series at home because they're not going to beat that Texas bunch. I mean, I'm sorry.
You certainly wouldn't think so. I don't know. All of these guys, their statements when he got the job were basically that, hey, he was my lead recruiter anyway.
Yes.
He's one of the main reasons that I came here. Now, obviously, Tony was a huge draw.
Yes.
I think this team may have cared too much about playing for him rather than the opposite.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? We have to be cognizant of this, and I got to say it out loud. The early guy at A&M had to find his footing. That was a little bit of a disaster. Now they had more injuries than we've had.
Yeah.
They had a few of their key players get hurt. But still, they've come back this year and had a good year. Here's my question. How many of these guys, now that you've cooled this thing off over a couple of years, and I know they were in a super regional last year, but I'm just talking about the aesthetic of getting beat up in your building the way we are. We're not hot right now like we were. Now, Matt was right to point out, you weren't going to win at that torrid pace. Nobody can do that in any sport. And baseball's a 50-50 proposition anyway, But if you look around the league right now, to his point, we were just talking about it off the air. If Tennessee gets beat today, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, and LSU are going to be on the outside looking in, barring a crazy finish. Who would have thought that coming into the season?
Well, what's crazy, too, is if you look at the little scoring bug there last night and the overall record, Alabama and Tennessee's record is pretty much the same.
Correct.
I mean, they're now a couple of games ahead of us in the league, but our overall record was pretty much the same, and they were showing something that Alabama's right now projected to host. Tennessee's projected to be on the outside looking in. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But I got one other point that I'll throw at you, and this is like a little bit of inside baseball just when it comes to like knowledge that I have, in my profession. One thing that we got to think about when it comes to football in particular, I guess, but you could probably span it across all sports, is the metric for measuring an institution's health and wealth of their donor base is endowment. And if you can look up any of these schools' endowment, like you can look on the internet and Google how much endowment Ohio State has or Michigan has or Notre Dame has and Tennessee has. And I'm telling you, I think the SEC is about to get their lunch taken for the next few years because, not to sound too much like Mark and Columbo, but like the Big Ten has more money than the SEC does. And they got a healthier and a wealthier donor base than teams in the SEC, with the exception of maybe Texas. Like, check it out. Do some preliminary Googling and see the discrepancy. Yeah. It's like, big.
I remember when my son went to Penn, okay? And Laura and I one night were sitting around because if people think I could afford to send my kid to a school like that if he wasn't playing sports, you're out of your freaking mind, okay? That thing was $77,000 a year. We looked at their endowment. Are you sitting down? It was $8.3 billion with a B. Billion. And that's how they paid the kids, like my son, whose dad didn't have any money, to go to school. But your point is, with the NIL, it shows how many billionaires you have in your
they still
base.
have to pay. Like University of Tennessee still has to pay teachers. They still got to
That's
fund
correct.
financial aid. They got to build
That's right.
buildings. They got to do all the stuff that they have to do and fund athletics. Now, athletics is different. You got a donor base that may not be alumni of the school, but if you want to see an institution's health in their donor base, look at their endowment. And I'm telling you, Big Ten schools beat SEC schools by about $10 billion. By about $10 billion.
Well,
So
we have an owner.
Do
got the owner of the,
some Googling,
yeah.
and it'll blow your mind.
I will. Thank you. Or send that to me, because I don't like doing all that work. Email me,
You got it.
commonfan@gmail.com. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'll run it in the blog. Because, Bino, that's your concern.
Yeah.
If I can buy you, if I can buy you away, or whatever the term is. And here's the other thing. I mean, let's keep it real. If I'm a kid, right, a ball player, and I have an opportunity, you mean tell me you're going to pay me twice as much? I will. I'll see you later. I'll come back here and watch games one day.
Yep.
But I'll see you later.
You still have to evaluate. You still have to buy the right people.
That's right.
But and coaching still matters a great deal.
Sure it does.
But if you've got more money to play with, you can afford to miss a few more times.
Back to the phones we go. Oh, Bino. We're up here on a Friday celebrating another baseball
beautiful
weekend.
day.
Oh, man.
Great crowd.
It's absolutely gorgeous here. Gorgeous here.
Yeah.
We're playing up, for the folks that live up in the area, we're going to play up in Seventh Springs Winery tonight.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. Seven Springs Winery's in the beautiful Plainview area, Bino. That's a really beautiful spot, though. Be playing some great music tonight. We start at 5, Beanstar. It's going to be upon us quickly.
Heck yeah, that's right around the corner, Tony.
Yep. I'm bringing Negative up there to sing 6 Days on the Road, and I'm going to make it home tonight. Negative's coming. All right, let's go to the phones. And we'll get Lee in here, who's up next with us. Lee, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Hey, Lee.
Off topic, but it goes because we were trying to get Ty Simpson supposedly or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep,
But,
yep.
I just watched the interview, and a guy was putting a little backstory on it. Apparently, Snead, the GM, is buddies with Simpson's dad, has a connection to, what is it, UT, I can't remember, UT something, he's the coach, and told him to go in the draft, and they drafted him last night. And McVay was not happy, had his arms crossed when they asked him about it. He goes, well, I guess he'll get to compete with Stetson Bennett. I just thought that was kind of an interesting story that might have a lot of background.
You know, I had heard, which we had written in the blog, and I'm going to have to revisit this, but I had heard McVay they wanted Simpson because they thought they're going to have Stafford for 2 more years there, so they have an opportunity to grow him behind the scenes, because McVay's done a lot of things, but he hasn't grown a quarterback. And that's one of the reasons why they wanted to draft him there. I don't know if I buy that narrative, what people are. I saw what you're talking about. I'm going to investigate it and keep an open mind. The McVay guy never looks happy.
I was going to buy it either, Tony, until I seen the interview, because I don't follow the Rams or Ty Simpson. But the arms crossed, kind of flexed.
He always looks like that.
That's not. What's that?
He's always pouty, though. The guy never looks happy. Literally, if Negative was a coach, he would have the countenance of that McVay guy, who wears a medium shirt, by the way.
Yeah. It just seemed interesting, and looking at his body language, I was like, maybe this, you know what I mean? And then they said that.
You know what he looks like? He looks like a.
He looks like a.
Well, he looks like a frowny faced Pat Sajak. I do think it's interesting, though, that McVay. I do think it's interesting, Bino, that Ty Simpson went about 10 to 15 spots higher than he was supposed to go last night.
Yeah,
That's stunning where he went in that draft.
Yeah, agree.
Because I don't see that with him, but who knows?
Jumped back, just like the Titans could have been able to fall back and pick up something and still get Tate. Like, some of the moves didn't make sense at all. And all the trading at the end of the draft was just crazy.
Yep. It's going to be interesting, man. I know one thing.
All right,
when the
well,
Cowboys,
I'll let you go. 2:30
yeah,
starts
thank you,
baseball.
brother.
Balls, go Balls.
GBO. And me and Bino are going out at 1-0 today, oh. Back to the phones we go, oh. 865-200-5402. Boy, that was a rough watch in those middle innings last night. Whew. Wow. If I was a parent last night's game, and I had to sit through an inning where you had 5 guys get hit with pitches, I would have done this, look. I'd have grabbed my stomach and act like I was coming down with a stomach flu, and I'd have gotten out of there. There's no way I'd have sat there and watched that.
Yeah, it was a difficult watch, Tony. Mac seemed to go full count on everyone up there.
Oh.
It was just...
How many pitches in last night's game, Bino, did we throw? Had to be 250.
Let's see the pitch count. I'll find it, Tony.
Yeah. Let's go back to our phones in the meantime. W. Lynn, welcome in.
How are my French compatriots doing?
217 pitches last night for our Vols, Bino. Thank you, W. Lynn. That was a tough watch, my friend.
You want to here? I've got the official statistics. We had 10 walks.
Yeah.
6 hit batters, and 1 balk where we turned to throw to a man that wasn't on second.
I thought it was 5.
And it cost us a run.
Is that a record? Is that a record, babe? 6 hit batters?
That's
is that a record?
17 free bases.
It is. Is it a team record?
I don't know.
No.
But Tony, another thing I was...
Yeah, and my favorite thing is after the 6 hit batter, they walk the guy. As if it's like, it's not enough, Here's a base on balls. Hey, at least I didn't hit him.
Threw 4 pitches without plunking anybody.
But Tony, at one time, I thought our plan was to injure enough players that they wouldn't have enough starters out there.
Wow.
That was a slog.
So they threw 217 pitches last night, Bino. 116 of them were strikes. You talk about a tough night at the office. This Reynolds guy, whew, I hope he's renting Reynolds. I hope that's what they're calling him. Yep.
One thing I was alarmed about was there was thousands of empty seats there. I mean, that place wasn't near full. I mean,
hey,
did you notice all the empty seats?
Bino said it earlier, and he's right. We're going to put up with it in football and basketball, but it's not ingrained enough in baseball. That's a dangerous thing for the athletic program. It really is. You spend all that money on that baseball stadium. That's dangerous,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, again, I don't know. Maybe this baseball fan base has, maybe they have more iron in their stomach than I think, but it's not ingrained like the others. I think they'll certainly watch a down year and come back, but I don't know about how many in a row they'll watch and come back. And they certainly aren't going to pay those kind of prices to go watch that.
And that's the point.
I was looking at the student section pretty closely. I'd paused it on my TV, and I could see where they had that checkpoint checkie where they have to go through to get to the common fan to, go to the restroom or get a hot dog. But what I'm amazed is they have a dry moat between the students and the common fans, 15 to 20 feet, that's just like a chute big enough to pull out a tractor for a tractor pull. Why aren't there student seats there? There's some way they could get. Did you know what I'm talking about? A dry moat.
I can picture it, W. Lynn, but I don't know
It's a moat with no water in it, but it's like it's 15 to 20 feet wide, and it separates the students from the common fans.
I'll tell you what we got to have over on our YouTube chat is Danny's Moat. Danny's
put
Moat
that-
has
put a
to appear
sign
on
out
Monday.
there.
Danny's Moat. Got the Tennessee River and Danny's Moat.
Guys, I feel for the students' plight.
Yep,
We
yep.
talked about that earlier. They're
Yep.
the ones that always seem to get left
Yep.
out in this because they're, everybody else is paying the freight. So they're going to be the ones that get left out. But, there ain't nothing wrong with that stadium over there except we're not winning baseball games.
That's exactly right.
You start winning baseball games, nobody cares where they're at in there.
And that's why when you're at Calhoun's on the river, it's always a winner. W. Lynn, thank you. I want to thank all the great, wonderful people. You all have been incredible. We're getting off right now. It's a hard exit. My man William Patterson's up next with the playbook. You will bow thy head when you say thy name.
Love you,
Bino,
Tony.
Jeff,
Thank you so much.
good luck to your Colts today, Bino, in the second round with their first pick in the draft.
Go Colts, go.
And take the vote. Appreciate you. Peace.
FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Hey, welcome back. The weekend rotation is upon you. It is Wednesday, April 22nd. Here in a beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. It's a high of 79 degrees the next 3 days. Tennessee baseball is coming off of a midweek win against in-state foe Lipscomb, 14-4 in 7 innings of work. It was a run rule victory. And I am your host, Will Heflin, back with you to preview the Alabama series. Shout out to Proper Popcorn. The weekend rotation is sponsored by Proper Popcorn. Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, Tony Basilio. He's always fired up, focused, and prepared. Getting this one out a little bit earlier this week, trying to keep it a little bit shorter. If you didn't catch last week's episode with VFL Zach Lingenfelter, that was a good one. We were previewing Ole Miss, but also some more big picture items with my boy Zach, who I lived with and played with for 3 wonderful years, and he is now coaching locally at Sevier County High School and teaching. So Zach, one of them good old boys. So if you missed that one, go check it out. It's still relevant even this week. Just maybe skip through some of the Ole Miss preview parts. I'm sure we got some of those wrong. Tennessee went 1-2 over the weekend. They did lose the series to Ole Miss, but were able to salvage Sunday. The power showed up on Sunday. They hit several home runs. Tennessee, the storylines headed into this weekend are obviously the earlier start, not by time of day, but by the day itself. It'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series because Tennessee is playing in that Thursday night TV game. They moved the series up. Alabama and Tennessee will meet. It's been a good series the last several years. Tennessee won last year's series on the road at Bama. I believe they lost 2-1 the year before, or maybe 2 years ago. But Alabama and Tennessee both right there in the mix, kind of in the middle of the pack. Tennessee sitting at the back end of the middle of the pack right now, 2 games under 500, 8-10 in SEC play. Alabama will come in 9-9. So Tennessee, the opportunity to surpass Alabama in the standings this weekend, and probably some others with a series win. Tennessee needs it. Look, they're getting to the point in the year where you start doing the math on how many wins you need to reach postseason. The number for me is 14. I've heard some people throw around 13. I think with their RPI and the non-conference resume that they have, 14 SEC wins is probably what you need to get to. If you head to Hoover with 13, you're going to have some work to do. That's my opinion. The latest D1 baseball outlook has Tennessee as one of the first 4 teams out. So that tells me if you don't win a couple series and get to 14 wins at least, you're probably getting left out, which is not good. Not good at all. Tennessee's best weekend right now on the resume is the series sweep at Mississippi State. So if Mississippi State could catch fire, that would do Tennessee a lot of good. Obviously, the LSU series loss, with LSU continuing to stumble. They've been swept the last 2 weekends. That doesn't look good, right? Missouri's not doing any better. Tennessee did beat them in a series, but Missouri's not helping the case. Vanderbilt's just kind of okay. Tennessee was swept by them. So you either need the teams that you've played prior. Ole Miss is very hot. That's helpful. They need Ole Miss to keep doing well. I'm just thinking all these in terms of RPI, in terms of the kind of the perception of Tennessee. I don't think it really matters quite as much. Tennessee just needs to win a few series here down the stretch, and they'll be in good shape. Alabama is coming off the opposite of what Tennessee did on the midweek. They got smacked by in-state foe UAB. That all started in the first inning. They gave up a 7 spot. They had 3 errors. I believe they had 4 free passes in the inning, a couple hit by pitches, a couple walks. It was just a over when it started type of midweek for Alabama. That can go one of 2 ways, right? Either A, it's beautiful for Alabama because it means they played crappy in the midweek. They're going to play well on the weekend. Or B, it kind of shows you where they're at. They're last in the league in fielding percentage, tied with LSU. They made 3 errors in the first inning against UAB. I believe they said last night, I was trying to scout a little bit and watch them. They said they made 6 errors the last time they played them, which was the week prior. They played UAB back-to-back midweeks. They beat them 12-6, even though they made 6 errors last week. And then this week they lose, I believe it was 11-2, the final. And made some errors. So that is certainly something to watch from Alabama going into it. Offensively, they're right there with Tennessee. I believe Tennessee's hitting 266 in league play or overall as a team, and Alabama is hitting 260. So right there, kind of similar. In league play, they're both right around that 240 mark. I believe Tennessee a couple points ahead. So they look very similar offensively. But Alabama last in the league in fielding percentage. Tennessee is first. If you're looking for an advantage, that one jumps out as much as any of them. Alabama doesn't strike out a ton of people. They're towards the bottom of the league in strikeouts. So for Tennessee, the recipe this weekend is put the ball in play, make some stuff happen. Right now, we saw the power show up at the end of last week. That would be nice. You would certainly take that. You don't have to worry about the other team messing it up if you just hit the ball over the wall. So that would certainly be a recipe that works. One thing I did want to touch on going into this weekend, when Tennessee has lost the last few series at home, it has been 1 or 2 guys on the other team that have just flat out beat them, flat out taken over the game. Aaron Beatty against LSU on Sunday, obviously 4 home runs in one game is going to beat you, or 3. I think he had 4, maybe 4. I know he had 4 hits, at least 3 homers. And then Bacetta last weekend, everybody remember him. I know he hit at least 4 over the weekend, but he hit a few on Saturday that were definitely the difference of Ole Miss. Kind of it was a defensive game, pitchers duel, 0-0. Ole Miss finally scratches one across, but you're like, okay, Tennessee can possibly tie one or scratch one across and get this thing going. But then Bacetta hits the big homer that kind of blew it open. And I just think for Tennessee, Alabama as a team has struggled offensively. They're slightly below you, and it's been well documented Tennessee's kind of inconsistency offensively. But they have a guy named Justin LeBron who is going to be a top 10 pick in this year's MLB draft. The average is down a little bit. He does have 14 homers on the season. He hits in the 2-hole. Behind him is Brady Neal, who started at Florida. This is his second year at Bama. He's having a nice year on base-wise, doesn't have the power that LeBron has. But I'd like to see Josh Reynolds and the Tennessee pitching staff circle the guy which is Justin LeBron, and say he is not going to beat us. Make somebody else beat you. Because Alabama is gettable if you can navigate their horses, right? And I just think Tennessee's been a little stubborn. And maybe it's been some bad luck. Maybe it's not, just not executed some pitches to these guys. And Reynolds' game plan has been to kind of work around them, and it just hasn't been executed. But you can't let these big sluggers in the league get balls middle away and get extended, because those get hit a long way. You've got to live on their hands or off the plate away and hope they chase. But walking Justin LeBron 5 times this weekend is not a bad strategy. You got to pick your spots. Score dependent. Is there a base open? Is there not? All that stuff is certainly a factor. But I would like to see more emphasis this weekend on a matchup in particular. It's certainly going to be him. If you want to say Brady Neal instead, then maybe, because he's left-handed, sure. I would like to see them go, okay, this guy's not going to beat you. That's really the only big headed into the series takeaway that I have on the pitching side. Obviously, have to monitor the guys, especially the starter stuff, because they're on 1 day short rest. If they have to labor through a few innings, we may not see them get to 100 or even 90 pitches this weekend. Maybe it's more of a 75 to 85 pitch count like we saw earlier in the year. Now, if they're cruising, I think no problem, especially with how warm it is, they'll get to that mark. But just something to monitor, keep in mind. Could be more of a, you're asking more of your bullpen this weekend, which could certainly be nerve-wracking for some. Braden Krenzel had a nice outing on Tuesday. Ethan Biotto had a nice outing on Tuesday. I think one or both of those guys, if one of the games ends up being higher scoring and deeper into the bullpen games, I think we could see one of them, or both, get an opportunity this weekend. And I think everybody knows, you need Krenzel eventually down the stretch to be who he is and who Tennessee expected him to be coming into the year. And that's one of your top bullpen arms. It's just been a huge mental issue and probably some physical that led to it. But then, just what he endured with some of the outings that he had. They've worked him back slowly, but he was 94, 97, good slider this week in the Tuesday game. I just need him to kind of block everything out and just go out there and let it rip. So we'll see there. But just keep that in mind if you do have to go to the bullpen a little bit earlier. We'll see. I'm looking for a bounce back outing from Cam Appenzeller as well. Got roughed up in the Saturday game against Ole Miss. I don't expect that to happen again. I think he'll have, more command of the fastball, be attacking the zone, working ahead in the counts. Typical Cam Appenzeller. But a good opportunity for his first kind of bounce back after you got punched in the mouth a little bit. So we'll see. That's kind of where I'm at from a pitching standpoint. Hitting standpoint, I thought Blaine Brown might sit. He was 0 for 10 on the weekend, did have a couple walks. He looked as lost as ever, and he's really struggled the last couple weeks. I thought maybe he gets a reset day on Tuesday. He doesn't, but he hits an Oppo homer. He hits an Oppo double. Maybe something clicked for him. I never try to put too much stock in a midweek game, so we'll see. But looks like he's going to stay in there. Stone Lawless, who came back this past weekend with his football helmet and a football-looking helmet. He's wearing a face mask due to the broken face that he endured against Vanderbilt. But had a nice hit, sparked the offense. Levi Clark goes yard right behind him on Sunday. He started the Tuesday game, looked great, had a hit his first at bat, later added a homer. I would imagine he has to be in there. And so that basically means you're going to have all 4 catchers in your lineup. That's Stone Lawless, Levi Clark, who seems to be coming on, Garrett Wright, who has been very consistent, very solid at the top of the order, had 5 hits on Tuesday, and Trent Gernlier, who added a homer on Tuesday, and he had been moved up to the 4-hole in some SEC games this past weekend. And he's been great. I don't think he has the at-bats to qualify, but he's your best hitter in league play average-wise since inserting him. So what does that mean? Well, I think Stone will be back to his normal catching duties this weekend. He did catch the end of the game on Sunday. don't remember if he caught any last night. I have to look that up. But I'd imagine he'll catch at least one game. Levi will be at first, back to first. He had been catching 2 games and playing first on Saturdays. I'd imagine they slide him to first. That slides Grimmer over to second because you're not taking him out of the lineup. That hurts Jay, right? Because if Blaine Brown is in left, Garrett's in center. So Jay is probably your odd man out with Stone coming back. But you guys can let me know what you think. I don't know if it's necessarily a conversation for, should Jay be playing center, which would move Garrett to left, or should Jay be playing second, which puts you in a bind with Grimmer and Levi? Like, it's not really a Jay and Levi question for me right now. It's like, what if Blaine Brown sits, then you move Garrett to left and Jay plays center? That's kind of the discussion for me, all coming back to, okay, Stone's back, so what do we do, right? It's a trickle-down effect. But that's where I'm at. I think Jay will probably sit on Friday, which is unfortunate because I think he's shown that he's versatile and he adds value anytime he's in the lineup. It's just hard for him to stick right now because he's not hitting for the average that he expects to. He's shown flashes. He had a nice Friday last week in a loss, but kind of quiet after that. And so we'll see. We will see. But I know for sure Stone will be in there. He was probably their best player overall when he got hit in the face, and he's picked right back up where he's left off. His numbers continue to climb. I just think from a leadership standpoint and the spark he provided, he's got to be in there. Grimmer had the 3 home run day last Sunday against Ole Miss. He ain't coming out of the lineup. So that's kind of where I'm at. My expectation for Tennessee is to win the series this weekend. Bama, coached by Rob Vaughn, who I really like, is always competitive. They are a team you cannot take lightly, but they are not as good as Ole Miss, and they are not as good as Mississippi State. So Tennessee needs to play well and win at least 2 games. And if you're able to win the first 2 and you're going in with Evan Blanco on Sunday with an opportunity to sweep, would certainly take that. But I think the offense starting slow the last couple weekends, especially at home. I don't know what it is about this team at home, but they seem to struggle more offensively at home. They've hit better on the road. Easy to say that after the Mississippi State weekend, but they scored early and they were able to hit with 2 outs, less strikeouts, it seems. I don't know what it is about home, but it'd be nice for Tennessee to have a good offensive day in game 1, which they haven't really done outside of the one game in Starkville, unless I'm forgetting another one. But I don't think there's been a game 1 in SEC play where they've really provided a big punch to help out, whether it be Teagan early or now Mack and company on the mound. So we'll see there. But like I said, Tennessee and Bama on paper, pretty evenly matched. I think Tennessee's slightly better, both in strikeouts, average, certainly better in fielding percentage, and have a couple more home runs. But Alabama just one of those teams that they just play ball, right? And that's kind of been what I've seen them as since Vaughn has been there. Like, they were bad when he took over. They had the Brad Bohannon debacle. The whole program was kind of in shambles. You obviously had people leaving. He kind of had to press reset real quick and turn it around because the league ain't waiting around on anybody. And they've done that. They've kind of been a team that's been close to hosting, but I don't believe they've hosted a regional. Maybe they did last year, but they've been that team that you don't want to see in your regional. And they're always a threat when they go on the road in the league because he kind of has a bunch of guys that play ball, and you'll see that. Their middle infield certainly hasn't been the problem. Defensively, I like Justin LeBron, as I mentioned. He can make all sorts of plays. And then the little scrapper 9-hole left-handed hitter plays second base, I believe, and I'm blanking on his name for sure. But they've had some good teams. They've got Tyler Fay, and then Zane Adams is their Saturday. Adams is a big lefty, kind of a projectability guy. You'll see a low mid-90s fastball from him. Faye, kind of that tone setter, Friday night starter. Not going to be the best stuff in the world you see from the right side. He's not got Landon Mack type stuff, but it's good stuff. Obviously, it's a Friday guy in the SEC. So Tennessee will need to hook it up and be on the hunt. So that's where I'm at. Again, shout out to Proper Popcorn for being a sponsor of the show. Do appreciate it. If you haven't tried it, go check them out. They got 2 locations, downtown and West Knox. The shop's at Franklin Square. So if you haven't tried it, go try Proper Popcorn. It's really good. They've got a ton of flavors. Every batch is made in-house. You can even order online, and they make great gift baskets. I don't think I'm leaving anything out. Please like and subscribe to Basilio's channel. I appreciate him so much for allowing me to hang out with him all the time and giving me a platform to spew my opinions, which I don't think are ever out of left field, but they're certainly opinions. Everybody's got their 2 cents, or at least you should. Makes it fun. Leave a comment. Say hey. I'll see you on Extra Innings presented by Garza Law. Garza Law Extra Innings this Saturday after the series finale. And then we'll all enjoy a Sunday off. Hopefully. If you have to work on Sunday, I do apologize. But other than that, have a wonderful rest of your week. Let's get 2 wins. If Tennessee gets to 10-11 after this weekend, you'll be in really good shape. Heaven forbid they sweep. Get over that 500 mark, 11-10. Man, that would feel nice. But it starts with 1 game. So Thursday, be Landon Mack on the bump. That one will be on TV. The next 2 are on Plus. I'll be on radio on Saturday. So if you don't want to listen to the Plus crew, sync up the radio with the TV. I believe there's an article always on the link to like those game preview tweets from Vol Baseball admin that tell, if you go to the radio, it'll like tell you how to sync it up with the TV so you can time it. Because if you just listen to radio and you have the stream on, you always be ahead on the radio. But you can kind of pause it or start the radio and then backtrack the 15 or 20 seconds that you need to sync it up, and then you're good to go. So little tip of the day there for you. But again, I'm Will Heflin. This is the Weekend Rotation by Proper Popcorn. I will see you next week, and I'll see you Saturday after the game. Give me a shout on the call-in show. Tennessee baseball against Alabama. Always, always. It's not football rivalry, but it's still Bama, right? We certainly want to beat them. So have a good week. I'm out.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Love your spirit when you call. Tony Basilio welcoming you to another edition, fired up, focused, and prepared. I couldn't be more pumped. Absolutely incredible. Beautiful day live today. Calhoun's on the river, and today's message and the takeaway message on today's show is sending out an SOS, Bino. Sending out an SOS. We're going to go back to the police. I don't know what record that was. I don't even know what year that was. But today, Bino, we're sending out an SOS because today it is Save Our Season Day. We have jammed this we have jammed this all into one day today, Bino. Good thing or bad thing for our pitching that – and Kevin in Muletown has come here. Hey, Kev, thank you so much for the wonderful gifts. Thank you for the great spirit you have when you call the show. I always love hearing from you. You're like a voice of reason in a sea of
otherwise.
Well, just these guys that are on YouTube that just bring me down every day. Beanstar the Great, in all your born days, have you ever seen anything like the inning last night? And I know baseball is a sport where you're going to see things. Like the other night, the Oakland A's had a line drive hit back at a pitcher. It got caught in the guy's – I've never seen this, but it went through one of his buttons.
I've never seen that. I was watching that live.
And they scored it a single, right?
108 into his shirt. I didn't know the rule because I'd never seen it before.
108 miles an hour.
Between two buttons into his shirt and spun around his torso.
Between two buttons into the man's shirt. And it was unbelievable, Andy.
And there's some obscure rule that if the ball gets hung in your uniform, it is not a catch.
Yes, it's not a catch.
And the umpires knew it.
Yes.
Somehow. No, I've never seen anything like that inning last night, short of the first day of kid pitch.
Poor Chris Burke. I told him today in a text, because Burke's on his way. I thought Burke was here all weekend. He said, no, that was a one and done for me. I'm on my way down to Florida. I said, Burke, I was thinking they were going to pan you up in the stands last night, put the camera on you, and do the Iron Eyes Cody thing, where all that work of the last several years, Bino, was washing up the shore, and there's Berkey crying like Iron Eyes Cody, like the Indian on the Do Not Litter. Can you say Indian or you have to say Native American?
I'm not sure.
On the Do Not Litter commercial, because that's...
I think on our show we can probably say Indian.
In your humble opinion, Bino, these guys are literally hanging by a thread right now.
Yeah.
They need a big day in that stadium
They
today.
sure do. After listening to and reading people that know a whole lot more than I do about it, I've come to the conclusion that 14 is probably the number, which means Tennessee has to win 2 of their remaining 4 series in order to, I think, to get the 6 wins that they need. And I think it just makes today you certainly had to win 2 of the 3 series between Alabama, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. You're unlikely to win the series against Texas. But you've got to win 2 of those series. Makes today just a critical juncture in the season. I think they need both wins today.
Pruitt's Neck Gator said, I went to the game last night. After the 3rd consecutive hit batsman, I left.
4 in 1 inning. I've never
Nobody's
seen
going to
that.
blame you for that.
No.
I looked like Little League Baseball last night.
Yeah.
Like bad, like when you're teaching kids how to pitch.
Yeah, it's the first day of kid pitch.
Yeah. Really?
When everybody walks or gets hit or.
No, really. That's
that's what it looked like.
And poor Elander makes. He goes out.
That corgi out there with that orange bandana and good looking.
Yeah. Shout out to the corgi. But he makes makes the switch, goes to Appenzeller, and you knew that first batter was going to smash the ball. Even though Appenzeller's really been pretty good.
Yeah, he kind of lost his way here of late.
He's lost his way.
Yeah, but as freshmen will do. But, it's – and, last night's generally it's been that we haven't swung the bats the way that we're capable of.
Yep.
And, as teams do when they struggle, seems like when the hitting comes, the pitching leaves. So.
Yep. And then you've got that really wonderful talent at shortstop for Alabama, this LeBron guy. He can't field the ball now. He got 14 errors.
Yeah.
That's an ignorant sport.
Yeah.
The thing about baseball is, and if you played, you appreciate this. It, next to golf, is the most ignorant game on planet Earth. Because you don't always get the result you deserve.
Yeah.
And once something starts getting in your head, it's Johnny Ball game.
Yeah.
That LeBron guy's afraid to throw the ball to first base now.
Just got to have no memory in that game, Tony.
No memory.
No memory.
Oh.
And that's the most difficult thing to do out there.
Calhoun's Carp says barring the unforeseen, Tennessee is staring at a 2-year stretch in their building. See, people want to blame Josh Elander like this is his deal. First of all, he didn't build this team. Tony did. Now, I don't think the pitching coach is helping them. I don't think he's very good. He's probably gonna get it, I would think. I think it's probably they're gonna make a change. They have to do something in the offseason. They miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they're putting too much money in baseball, and you got to show your fans. It's just how the sport works.
Yeah.
At every level.
Yeah, it is.
Whether it's fair or not. But we're live today at Calhoun's on the River. We've got 2 games going today. Come on down, eat some lunch, talk some sports. Steve Russell, between now and then, we'll hang out and be with you. And Beanstar the Great, how much of the draft did you consume yesterday evening?
Almost none, Tony. I did. I was watching the Vols and watching the Yankees, and I followed the draft on my phone a little bit, especially the first 8 or 9 picks, and then after that I didn't pay any attention to it at all. Colts didn't have a pick yesterday, so.
And that takes it off your plate, right?
Takes it off mine, yes.
I was thinking yesterday on the air, kind of shooting my mouth off, that Tennessee might be able to backdoor getting a veteran quarterback.
I heard that.
With
the 5-on-5, the 5
yeah. Because the 5-for-5 thing is probably going to pass pretty soon, and the NCAA commissioner wants it. Coaches want it. Some administrators want it. Some don't. They can never agree on anything. It's like watching folks in Washington fight over things. But it could have been maybe an opportunity to bail us out, and then I got to looking at the list of guys that are draftable.
Yeah, I saw it on your blog.
And it's depressing.
Yeah, saw it on your blog.
They've what's the term? All these guys have pretty much exhausted their draft status unless you want to get Drew Pine from Bowling Green, who turns 26 this fall, who started at Notre Dame and who ended up at Bowling Green last year and wasn't very good there. I mean, this is slim pickin' city.
Yeah.
Whereas in basketball in the portal, you got all kinds of guys. Like if they go to that 5-for-5 thing, I was telling somebody last night, Tennessee immediately would peel $3 million off and would pay it to Felix Akpara to come back. He'd be their first priority off last year's team. Not even Gillespie.
Based on what they've added?
Yes,
yeah.
but Akpara.
Yes, no question. Based on what they've added. Their bigger need right now. Now I'm assuming Juke is going to.
He's coming. Yeah, he's coming.
That their biggest need now is a big man.
Yeah. The thing about Tennessee, though, to finish the thought, which seems just unbelievable, they lose a game today, they're not going to beat Texas in this building. I know baseball's a crazy sport. They're going to have 2 series wins over 2 seasons in a building that's got 7,000 people in it nightly.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, it makes no sense. We just had kind of an immortal team for so long.
Yep.
That mortality hurts. It does. We've got a regular baseball team right now.
I think the record's like 13-23 now.
Yeah.
And that stretch.
Yeah.
Some crazy number.